very vague map.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm live, so
God damn it.
Kill it.
Let's just go.
Kill it.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Six Pack Cinema. This week we are talking Super Troopers 2 and shitty sequels, and yeah, that's it. Let's go, guys. What did you think this week?
We're gonna have to record a new intro at the back end, but okay, let's keep going.
This was a little fucked by Jimmy just turning it live on us.
Yeah, this movie sucked. This movie was I'm upset. I really want to go find Jay Jacan, whatever the fuck his name is, and just have a good stern talking to him, find out what was on his mind. You think after 12 or 15 years out of the last one came out, you might develop your directing methods a little bit. You might mature a little bit. You might figure out how to be a little bit more funny in a little clever manner. He went backwards. This thing is complete and utter garbage. Every joke, every shitty fucking joke had a huge backup buildup that like, oh, I'm going to triangulate her. I'm going to triangulate her. And for one small little thing. And then, oh, hey, let's get night vision goggles. Fast forward 45 minutes, you can see a fart. Ha! Fucking hilarious. Go to hell.
Everything
ruined Super Troopers.
I think everything you just listed out was the same level of humor as the first one. I think this was just slightly worse than the first one. I rewatched the first one yesterday because I thought I was like wrong about it, but it turned out I was right. This was worse than the first, but I don't think
really? Then how come O'Hannigan started calling everything booty as a big fucking funny joke when in the first one he called it contraband like a real man?
That was just one shitty joke there.
It lasted 4 or 5 times throughout the movie.
I have a question.
Yes, sorry.
Sheehan,
I'm getting too hot.
Did you laugh out loud at anything in this movie?
I give a heavy nostril 3 times.
Okay, so I told you on last week I was going to record my stats. I have 0 laughs out loud and 2 moments. Dave,
okay.
Did you laugh?
I laughed a couple, like once or twice, like a chuckle, not like a hearty laugh, at the Canadian montage. I like them just fucking with the Canadian guys that way. And I laughed at just kind of like a gasp laugh at the Andy Savage thing in the credits. And then there was like a couple of chuckle things.
Fred Savage,
sorry.
Okay.
And then just a couple of chuckles here and there, which is the same I laughed in the first one.
So
I feel like people had too high of an opinion of the first one going into this without remembering that it's a stoner movie and you should be baked to watch it. And I think this movie would be much better baked.
That's a shitty excuse.
No, this is what we said. We said all the jokes were going to be based on the backbone of like one thing, which they were. All the jokes had these long running like build-ups, like Sheehan said, and then every single scene had to end on something weird, just out of nowhere. Like, okay, we have him just swallowing Eminem's hold at the very end. It's like, okay, it's not a joke, and that was terrible. Why didn't you end that scene normally? Then
I hated Fargo this movie. I need to get that out of the way. I fucking hated Fargo.
Like, they had a normal scene where they accomplished and moved the plot forward, and then at the very end, Farver's just like, let's kill an eagle, and then they shoot an eagle and it falls out. It's like, yo, why did they pigeonhole, like, at the end of every scene, they were like, we need to end this with a bit that has nothing to do with anything. It was so forced and hard. The only joke I really laughed at was the Danny DeVito conversation.
Yes. That was one of mine.
Sorry, I forgot about that one. That was definitely the best joke in the whole movie.
And when he comes out of the bathroom talking, it's like, yeah, what about that guy from Throw Him Out from the Train? I was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Some other terrible bits that I wrote down were the mustache measuring stick. That was
stupid.
I don't know how that. They said they rewrote the script 30 times, and the mustache measuring.
Well, so for the listeners, I actually got a Q&A with them at the end of my screening, and they said at one point Farvo was like much more obnoxious and outrageous, and like it took like 20 revisions to bring him down to this level, and I fucking hated him in this movie.
Yeah,
he was funny obnoxious in the first one, and he was ramped up. It was like what happens in all the sequels. They see a couple of funny things and they just dial it to 11, and they did that to him. And think about it. Most of the weird shit you didn't like was probably Farva.
Nope, punching a dick, that was terrible.
I chuckled at that.
I didn't find that unfunny, but I was like, Rob Lowe just.
Did you guys see? Did you guys see the Workaholics movie? What was that called? Game Over, Man.
Yeah.
Did you guys enjoy that?
I did. Yeah.
The same amount I enjoyed this.
Okay, so I think that is everything this movie was trying to be, and
Yes.
they pulled it off without being cheesy, corny, dumb, and pulled it off like properly. Like they wanted a dick scene, they had Adam fake hanging himself in the closet
Great
as a
dick
distraction,
scene.
which was hilarious. This dick scene, they didn't make any nuance into it. It was literally just like, oh yeah, and sometimes we punch dicks. It's like, what? That has nothing to do with anything that's happening or further the plot. The Adam dick scene in Game Over, Man furthered like the plot, had the gay guys and everything. This movie was so bad. It was so
It really was so bad.
I wanted to leave really bad, and I was debating in my head, would that be good for the podcast? Like to be like I just left, or do I need to watch this? Dumb and Dumber 2, I never finished because halfway through I was like, holy shit, this is horrible, and I just turned it off.
I never even started. Like I saw the trailer and I was like, that's going to be worse than Anchorman 2.
Well, let me tell you, buddy, this was just as bad as Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, so Dumb and Dumber 2 is better than Anchorman. Because this is clearly the best of all these comedy sequels. It's better than Zoolander 2, it's better than Anchorman 2, and I hadn't seen Dumb and Dumber 2.
I mean, we're just ranking shit at this point.
Were you smoking when you watched this movie?
So, fun story. I was not, although we made brownies, although they didn't time it right, and I didn't get high until like an hour after the movie, and then I was really stoned.
I think you may have had some little pre. You were in the mood for this movie.
I went to go see a stoner comedy. I felt like this, like I said, I watched Super Troopers 1 sober yesterday, and it's just as unfunny unless you're stoned.
But
like,
Super Troopers 1 was original. I'm sure if these guys set out to make a new movie where all the jokes didn't have like, oh, they're doing that joke because of this.
So many throwbacks.
And so many throwbacks and like the same characters. Like they already emptied the tank on these characters. They should have never made a sequel. If they wanted to make another movie, they should have done something completely original. Maybe it would have been good. But everything was just.
See, I like that they tried to, like, whether you like it or not, I like that they tried to go back to the characters because this is the first sequel they've ever done. Everything they've ever done has been new movies. So I like that they at least had the balls to be like, hey, let's see if we can go back to these characters.
I wouldn't say balls. I would say misdirection. So, okay, the writing sucked. Okay, let's get past the jokes and the shittiness of that. The writing was just god fucking awful. So they were sitting around a table one day and said, all right, for some reason the granite stones in Vermont are misappropriated, so we're gonna. So the United States absorbs a whole town, which on the map was like a third the size of Vermont, but that's a whole different thing. So the whole point of moving the border is like the joke is, oh, they're going to smuggle things in without actually getting over the border. The border's going to go over the smuggled items. Fine. That's actually a pretty decent story to build off of. Just to build off of. Very, very, very far-fetched. But I mean, I could live with it. I can live with it. It's a clever thing having like smuggling by moving the border. That's actually pretty good. Where they went wrong is deciding to write in a 15-minute dream sequence to start the fucking movie.
That was hands down the worst part of the movie.
That is movie writing 101. Don't do dream sequences. And nothing was funny in the dream sequence.
It was so it set the tone as a what the fuck am I watching, and it never rebounded.
Yeah.
So if this movie fails, it's because if the movie fails the way that I think it's going to, they can blame it entirely on the fact that they opened it up with the most ridiculous, ludicrous opening sequence I've ever seen. And I actually was like, I sat there thinking, why am I sitting here? I should go home because this isn't going to get any better.
It did get better, but
it got better because it started off at negative infinity and it bumped up some. But never made over the threshold of good.
I legitimately felt bad for Stifler and Damon Wayans. for that scene.
Stifler got a paycheck. He needs that these days, so good for him.
Stifler still makes me laugh a little bit, just like
he's great, and I loved him a few years ago in Role Models. I wish he did more movies like Paul Rudd and all them.
That was like 10 years ago, man.
Was that? Fuck me. That's old now.
Yeah.
That's not good.
And poor Rob Lowe. How far has he fallen, man?
Dude, and
He looked like the what?
And the girl making her do that French accent.
I know, but no. He looked like the puppet from Team America: World Police.
He did. You're right.
He looked identical to that, and not for nothing, but if he's worried about smuggling stuff over and he's the big kingpin, he's not gonna have to. He's not gonna want to fire these cops.
Fuck me. All right. You're gonna have to capture my audio from the video.
Shane, are you good?
Nope.
This is what happens when you turn it live when we were going in the pre-show.
All right. Well, my bad.
Nope. No, it's just all right. Well, fuck.
I have it from two sources.
Okay. Well, it's shitty audio for a shitty movie. We're just gonna keep going. All right.
All right. So this is all a hate fest. Let's say a couple of things we liked about it.
No. I gotta finish that point real quick. Okay. If Rob Lowe is the smuggler and they're moving the borders and these guys are the new Americans coming in, he's not going to look at them and say, "Oh, hey, impersonating an officer, they're fired." He's going to want to keep them, right?
No.
Yeah. I'm not giving this any real thought.
I'm just saying there was serious holes in this plot.
No, I think they showed, like, in the beginning they were kind of like actual professionals and wanted to take the job. Kind of not like serious because they were still goofballs and like fucking with each other, but more serious than I think he thought they would. And so he was worried they'd find the stashes and he'd be screwed. He'd rather get rid of them and have cops he knows don't give a shit about it.
Well, all right. Well, that's as far as in depth as I'm going to go.
Yeah, let's talk about things we like. So garbage.
So I'll say my favorite part probably was just the Canadian version of the Troopers. I like those three guys and like the Danny DeVito scene and just when they were fucking with the American guys. They were my favorite part.
The fat guy's accent was so bad it wasn't funny to me. Like I think they were like, who cares if your accent doesn't sound real? It's a comedy. And then to me it was like I was already so fed up with everything else that it made me mad.
What's he from? I recognized him from something.
Aren't they all the Germans in Beer Fest, and that's why they made that joke about the shit beer?
No, he's on a TV show.
Yeah, he's in something, and it was recent.
Wasn't he on Mad TV? I don't know, man.
I don't think it was that. He's someone though.
Whatever.
That's my in-depth acting there.
Yeah.
Reporting.
The guy with the glasses. He made me laugh. I enjoyed him. I thought he was probably the strongest character in the whole movie. And he was weak, but it was easily the one who I liked the most. What's up?
The other one, not the glasses and not the really big one.
The older one?
Yeah, he's funny. His name's Tyler Labine. He's been in some movies like I'm trying to find it real quick. He was in a movie called this is gonna bug me out if I can't find it. Best Man Down with I don't know, whatever. He's been in a movie where like Someone Married Barry, Best Man Down. He was in all these like low-level comedies for a while, and I think he's actually a funny actor. This like was the worst version of him because it was a worst, terrible, bad movie. But I like that guy. I'm trying to find out where the fat guy's from.
Okay. Yeah,
how about Jim Gaffigan? This guy fucking aged weird.
Well, he just shaved, I think, so he looked weird.
And he was just in Chappaquiddick, which we reviewed last week.
And he looks nothing like he looked in Chappaquiddick.
Huge jump in talent.
Oh, yeah. But this was clearly like he was on set for like half an hour one day and got a paycheck.
Tops. Yeah, no,
I'll say like my least favorite parts of the whole thing were all like the callbacks. I liked when it wasn't the callback shit. I didn't care if it was focused on like the Canada jokes. It was just all the callbacks I hated.
I hated how like they started off with a mysterious like, oh, Yep. Sorry. Yeah, we're construction workers now because Fred Savage incident. But I don't give a shit, man. And I knew it was coming up, and they're going to show it in the post credit scenes, like the whatever happened. And I
like
knew
that scene too. That scene felt like original Super Troopers too.
No, original Super Troopers. He wouldn't have stuck the landing in original Super Troopers. He would have died way down.
No, up until the landing and the bus scene, because that was god awful.
Yep.
But the banter before that, I was halfway out the theater. I stopped. Yeah. Fuck, I guess I'm gonna watch that. That did feel like the best, most organic. They probably didn't write scripts because they didn't write dialogue because it was just the final scene. That felt like the most funny. And Fred Savage even had a line that I was like, huh, Fred Savage hit that line pretty good. I think it was when Farber ran up for an autograph and he was like, stop. You know that's not real, right? I not with Winnie. But that was maybe probably a 5 out of 10. So that was the best.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
The three things I laughed at was one, the Danny DeVito conversation, which we can agree apparently was the highlight of the movie.
So I read an article that said all the test audiences, whatever they call those, all wrote down that was the most funny scene.
Yep.
And it made the main guys upset because it's the only scene they're not in. And it was the same exact thing from the test screenings with Super Troopers 1 when it was
with the kids in the car, right?
Stoners in the car was the most popular scene. So the two movies test audiences was both scenes they're not in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
All right. What were the other two?
The other two was when they're in the back, the two Mounties in the back seat doing the walkthrough or the drive around, and they're giving them shit for just being independence in 1980. And they're like, oh, yeah, too bad if we weren't made in 1980, we wouldn't have good gun control and universal healthcare. And they just slapped hands. It's that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, that was a solid burn.
Yeah, it just makes sense. And then I will admit, I'm embarrassed by this, but when Mac was riding the horse up to the behind the car and he was holding the siren like this,
yes.
I couldn't help myself.
I
thought
like that
was
montage. Even though most of the montage was ruined in the trailer, I just like that because
that one got me.
See, I think all the best parts of this were the parts that didn't have to move the plot forward. It was just the banter and silly shenanigans between them all.
But see, this one was it was a slight callback because they were like, oh, what do? You ride up on the Mounties, pull cars over, and no, we fucking cruisers. And he just did his thing. This is how Canada works. And honestly, I thought that they did pull guys over with horses for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, to this day, I don't believe Canada has an army. They just have the Mounties.
No, they don't have an army.
It's the Mounties. Yeah.
Yeah.
I laughed. The only other time I laughed, and it was actually Farba, was when the Mounties were talking about fucking moose. And it was so weird that even Farba gave them a look yo, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah, and they were like, yeah,
and
you'll need a step stool. I'll get a step stool, and I'll fuck that moose.
Yeah, it wasn't even a big laugh, but it just made me
It's the whole delivery was weird because these things that we're bringing up, I'm laughing about, but it felt so weird in the moment and not funny.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I'm curious how y'all would feel about it if you watched it high. I feel like you would be think of it much closer to the original.
Dave.
I'm not a teenager anymore, so
I think the presidential debate would be hilarious high.
That's you're just being outrageous now. But I feel like the first movie we all definitely watched back in high school and probably definitely a little bit either drunk or stoned. And that's coloring your impressions of it. I think this movie is very. Have you ever
watched the baseball game while high?
It's a bad argument. If you take this drug that makes everything funnier, you may find this movie funnier.
But no, I just feel like you guys had too high of expectations off of the first one.
No, man, I want my comedies to make me laugh, and this did not. I watched Role Models on TV the day before. And that made me laugh a lot, even the little things.
That's a fantastic movie that is really underappreciated. But I feel like the first one is just as bad as this. In parts.
I promise you, Dave.
Look back at it with rose-colored glasses.
David, I promise you, I went into this theater knowing this is gonna suck. I was begrudgingly. I left work early to get this so I can go home in a reasonable hour because I wanted to bang this thing out and get it out of the way. I was not happy about being there. So the fact that this thing couldn't cheer me up in the least bit is telling.
No, I think you go into it with that mentality. You're only going to get what you expect, which
that's not what you just said. You're contradicting yourself. You're like, well, you went into this with too high expectations. I had shit expectations, and it did not.
No. I meant, sorry, I misspoke. Not too high of expectations. I meant you're comparing it to the first one, which you are rating too highly through rose-colored glasses.
I'm holding it to a high bar.
I'm just comparing it to a comedy in general.
Yes, no, I think it's shit, and I think the first one's just as shitty in that regard.
I'm rating.
Sure, I said Beer Fest aged terribly, and I think Beer Fest was the same kind of movie as this. So I think I only enjoyed these guys' humor when I was a dumb young kid.
Yeah.
But at least those two movies were original. And not all these meta jokes.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So where the fat guy, where I know him from, is he's one of the moving guys in Happy Gilmore that sits on the couch when they're moving Billy Madison out, and then they bet him in the golf game.
Yeah, that's so far. That's a long time ago, man.
I definitely remember who you're talking about now, but that's not what I was thinking.
Well, he's also in Heaven Saves the World. I've seen him in some commercials.
Okay.
And then like Mad TV.
Mad TV. That's
some episodes of Shameless, and the new Three Stooges.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe from the trailer from that. I never saw that. It looked horrible.
Yeah. Have you watched Three Stooges in a while?
The original?
Yeah. Talk about aging terribly.
I'm not a huge fan of like that slapstick stuff though.
Yeah. Have you ever watched it while high?
Yeah, I still didn't laugh.
All right, let's move on to ratings and reviews.
Yeah, let's start with critical. Sheehan, what are you giving this?
42.
You're crazy.
Because it had 420.
I get it. I'm just gonna throw 20 out there.
Yeah, no. Like I said before, anything under 50 doesn't really matter.
Yeah, 0.
I went 34. So whatever the average of those three is.
So 42, 20, 30. I mean, I just gave it a 42, and I'm a little embarrassed about being too high. So
just say 0. Just say not available.
No, I think it's still better than a 0.
No, critically. If I'm giving it if I'm actually going to put thought into this critically, the performances sucked. The writing sucked. The sets are pretty good. I'll give them the sets. Great stuff. Great lighting. Costumes, horseshit.
Editing sucked.
Mustaches, I've seen better. I would go with 15. 15 for lighting.
Under 50 is just not available. This movie is not.
Well, yeah, but we gotta we can't just rank it 0 anytime it's under 50 because we've had a ton of movies like.
Okay, fine. I'll give it a 5.
So we're just changing our scores now.
Yeah, because Dave, it's not. Give me a critical expectation that you got that was achieved.
Like I said, I liked all the banter scenes that weren't moving the plot forward. I think those were all the ones we listed too. Those all made us laugh.
5 plus 15
that's one
plus
aspect.
34.
Yes, and I think that's worth 15. The lighting and set designs, that's worth another 20.
We're at 8. We're at 18 average.
You know what? No, 99. I'm gonna rate it 99. If that's what you guys are gonna do, I'm gonna rate it 99.
Okay, 18 average. Boom.
No, with my 99, that brings it up.
I can't give it. I can't give
it, dude. Why are you being a martyr for Super Troopers 2?
Because I think you guys were like you were saying, you watched the trailers and you're like, this is gonna suck, and it's not gonna live up to the first. And then you went in being like, it's gonna be horrible. So that's what you got.
I'm not comparing it to the first. The trailers looked like it was gonna suck, and then it sucked. So now I'm giving it a critical score that sucks.
I think you guys are being overly harsh on it. I don't even think it was a good movie. I'm just fighting against you guys.
Quiet. 1 second.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're just being stubborn for no reason.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Sidebar. Yeah. We gave Mother 20.
I think this was worse than Mother.
Oh.
Critically?
No, this was way better than Mother.
We're talking critically. Mother was
This
a better
was better
critical
than-
movie than this.
This was better than Mother.
Critically,
Critically, I mean, it was a mess too. So they're both pretty bad.
but
I
it
think
had
this
good.
was-
It had good performances and good sets and good like sound design and movement. It was just the story was stupid as fuck. Mother
Which
was
is
much
what
better
she
than
and just
critically.
said.
I said set design was great.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right, so 18. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, sure.
18. Yeah.
I think this is better than Mother. I'm going to raise my score till this gets whatever 21 is. Whatever my
18.
score has to be for it to be 21.
Hey, take a step back and think about what you're taking such a harsh stand on.
No, now my stance is we've not seen a movie worse than Mother. That was the worst movie I've ever seen.
This was worse than Mother. Mother had
No,
me to the very end.
Mother was worse than this.
Oh, yeah, Mother was real bad for me.
Mother had me till the riot. The first 2 acts, I was very, very into it. So that's better than this. This never had me once.
No, I was into this 100% more than Mother.
All right, well,
All
we
right,
have
so you guys
differences.
are okay. So
So I'm raising my score. If you guys can lower it, I'm raising mine to whatever it has to be for this to be 21.
I'll allow that.
Okay, I don't give a fuck.
I'll allow that.
21.
To move this along, I'll allow it.
All right, popcorn. I feel like I know
21.
what you guys are going to give.
Dave Thursday fit.
Absolutely. This is not worse than Mother.
Okay,
I will-
popcorn, 0. I wanted to walk out, and I didn't walk out. This was 0. I never want to think about it ever again. 0 popcorns.
Dave, what's your popcorns?
I went 3 because of the things I laughed at and thought it was fun.
All right, I had 1.5.
Yeah,
Nice.
so the average is 1.5.
Boom.
Middleman Dan here. Okay, cool.
All right, so if you guys are going to watch it again, what are you going to drink with it? Jimmy, I'm assuming cyanide?
No, just sleeping pills. Just yeah, some what is NyQuil, ZQuil. I'm chugging ZQuil. Just put me to sleep.
Sheehan?
I'm going to be chugging some maple syrup and chasing it with Molson, eh?
Nice. Yeah, I wrote maple whiskey for the maple syrup.
There we go.
Yep. All right, well, that wraps up our review of Super Troopers 2. Let's hop into our weekly recommendations. What have you guys been watching?
I got a good one. I've been pretty busy, but the last couple of days it's really been fun. I think everyone should start watching the New York Yankees baseball games. It's nightly
fuck off.
episodes, and they've been winning a lot, and it's been really fun putting up like averaging 8 runs a game. You can also tune in.
Red Sox.
No, 4 games now because the
And
Red
the
Sox.
Cubs have only played like 14 games because we keep getting rain delays.
Yeah. And the Red Sox have lost their last 3. Yankees have won their last 3. It's good times. You should check out the Yankee games. They're a lot of fun.
All right. Well, I started watching season 2 of Westworld, which was pretty damn good for the first episode. I'm excited to see where it goes. Sheehan, you were watching that earlier tonight, right?
Couldn't get through it.
Why?
Baby lost her mind.
Oh, that's not good.
Not
I was
a
worried you were
Westworld
going to
fan.
be like, it's so shitty. I was like, God, I don't want to fight.
No. It's good. It's great, but it's not the kind of movie you can watch while. It's not the show you can watch with a girl screaming in your arms.
No,
Just
you
can't.
definitely. You should
So-
just like watch it at like your lunch hour at work.
Yeah, put a pin in that. I got 20 minutes left in the first episode. I might
Okay.
be able to finish it by Friday. We'll see.
So you haven't even seen the dinosaurs yet.
Fuck you, man.
So what
Yeah.
have you been watching? A lot of Bubble Guppies?
No, man. She doesn't watch anything. It's great. Silicon Valley and Barry are a great 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Sunday on HBO right now it goes Westworld, Silicon Valley, Barry, and then Last Week Tonight. That is just 2.5 hours of
Perfect
great content.
Yeah, perfect content.
If I had 2.5 hours to sit down and watch TV, I would so do that every Sunday.
True. All right. So any other recommendations, guys?
No, I haven't
Nope.
been watching a lot of TV. I have a lot of shows I need to finish.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that
Go-
wraps up
go
this
listen to
episode of what?
As it goes to Talking Yanks, support that guy.
Yeah. And also check out The Terror and listen to our mini series about that because The Terror, I think, is the best show not getting love on TV right now. I feel like nobody's watching it, and it's a damn good show. But that wraps up this week's episode of Six Pack Cinema.
Yep.
Next
and
week, we'll be coming at you with another movie review. Are we going to be doing a She and Dave special of the Avengers.
I don't know. What are we doing?
Avengers, man. Avengers
yeah, we got to do Avengers, which means Jimmy will be out and just editing an episode because I'm not going to even watch his negativity on this episode.
I think you might like it, man.
No, I'll edit. I'll produce only.
All right.
I mean, we can't not do the Avengers.
Oh, no, we have to do the Avengers.
Yeah.
Avengers is a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, if anyone out there listening, if you have any suggestions for what we should review, or if you want like an old school throwback, you want us to talk about that, just DM us on Six Pack Cinema Instagram.
Or Twitter. It's the same handle on both.
Yep. We're listening. Just talk to us, please.
That was sad. All right. We'll see you guys next week. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you.